Going live. Is it going? It's going, and we are live. Oh, I should have brought that down a little bit. Oh my god, that light is bright. Hold on, guys. I'm walking on the sun over here. Like, Jesus. Oh, let's make that a little bit moody here. That's too dark. This ring light is crazy. Anyways, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. We'll wait a few more minutes for folks to pop in. Why doesn't this thing tell me how many people are in here? It did before. Anyways, I'll just pop in on my phone so I can see how many people are in there. Let's see. We got hello, Jazz. Hello, Dawn. Hi, long-haired, skinny-eyed Toad. Sound of an ocean wave. October, hello. How are you? And I'm gonna pull it on my phone too.
Wait, what kind of was it? The Mama Mandala's Sicilian chicken soup?
Oh, I thought it was like spicy chicken soup.
Yeah, spicy chicken soup that will suit the family for generations.
Yep, there we go. Anyways.
Do you want a cup or a bowl?
Bowl. Big one. Anyways, hi, Earthy Phantom Seeker. Hi, Shauna. So, there's been a lot of interest on dreams and astral, especially astral projection. And there's been like a lot of information bouncing around out there. And I figured, so I'm going to tell you guys, sorry, am I looking down? I'm going to dive in and kind of talk a little bit about it. Hi, Trisha, how are you? Because, I will never call myself an expert at anything. I'm not pompous enough at that. But I'm going to share my story with you, and out of necessity, we'll put it that way, and you'll know what I mean later on. I've actually become quite quite good at mastering my dreaming and astral projection. I'm going to read, I think we'll start, because I want to quickly do this, because I don't want this to be a video of like me sitting here reading. But in the book that is the Bible of my craft, The Grimoire for the Apprentice Wizard, there's a great write-up on astral projection. And I spelled it wrong. It's A-S-T-R-A-L. I spelled it wrong.
How do you spell it?
E-L.
Oh.
And while I'm at it, where's the other book? This here is another good book to read on astral projection. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Soul Traveler. It's by Albert Taylor. And he's got a great write-up on it. We're not going to read from that. I'm just going to go straight from the Grimoire for the Apprentice Wizard. And Lucian wants to say hi.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy. So I'm just going to read this quick part from this book, not the whole piece he's got on it. And then I'm going to kind of share with you my story and kind of how I got to the astral skill, if you would. Anyways, astral projection is the practice of separating your astral body from your physical one and sending it out on a journey. This most often happens when you are sleeping, and such experiences may seem very similar to regular dreams. But the more you get into the practice of magic and train yourself in techniques of meditation, visualization, and lucid dreaming, the more you will find that regular dreams are seldom that. One way to tell the difference, between dreams and astral projection is your point of view. This one I'm not, yes and no, but let's read and we'll discuss. In a dream, as in waking life, you see only what is in front of you. But in astral projection, you can see in all directions, all around you. And often, he says, often the first thing you see, in fact, is your own body lying in the bed as your astral self separates from it. In astral projection, the astral body is connected. Now, this is the important piece because there's a lot of people out there, and which is why I think there was a lot of interest on the Wizard Tower Facebook group for me to actually go into this subject. A lot of people fear astral projection. They fear that they won't find their way back to their body. And this, in my finding, is not the case. And you'll see when I read this book, and I'll be honest, there's reference to it in here as well. Honestly, I would definitely get this. If you're really interested in astral projection and astral travel, I would definitely get this book, Soul Traveler. There's a lot of good info in this book, but I mean, this is a kind of a guide-all book. Great book to get if you want to get it and read it, but this will suffice with astral projection. But anyways, let's read what's in here. In astral projection, the astral body is connected to the physical body by a silver cord that only severs at the time of death. This cord is infinitely elastic and will retain its connection no matter how far you journey. And like Ariane's thread that Theseus followed back out of the Cretan labyrinth, you can always return to. I love the way Oberon writes because he always puts those little way out there quips in there, like not quips, but it's like a analogy. But anyways, you can always return to your body along the length of cord, so you don't have to worry about getting lost. Unless, of course, you go borrowing, which is that's like transferring your consciousness into the mind of another living creature. There's another part of it that's actually in this book. I may do a live on called Beast Mastery. And that's what he references. We deal with borrowing in the class on Beast Mastery. By now, if you haven't been keeping a dream journal for some time, you will. If you have been keeping a dream journal for some time, you'll develop your ability to remember your dreams quite well. If you have, in evenings just before going to sleep, fix your mind on some place you would like to visit or some person you would like to see, then in your dreams, will yourself to be wearing different clothes or will yourself to suddenly be in some other place. Practice this very frequently. Then he goes into how to astral project. I'm not going to go into that. I think I'm going to do this as a series. So I want to tell you my story and why actually I am so skilled at two things with dreaming: astral projection, and actually three things: astral projection, lucid dreaming, and what I call controlling my dreams or dream mastery. When I was a kid, I think I was probably 8. From between the time of 8 and 10 years old, I used to have, bad nightmares. Maybe 8, yeah, bad nightmares, night terrors, and even sleep paralysis. And it was bad to the point where I had to go see a child psychologist. And, I happened to, thank you to my mom, who I think saved my life on a few occasions, we really got hooked up with a really good child psychologist who specialized in dreaming. And what I learned was a couple of things. Some of the places I was going, I was astral projecting without really knowing it. And that can happen. Just like Oberon says in here, a lot of us may be astral projecting without even realizing it. Because a lot of it just the way dreams can work. But I was just going to places that were scary. On top of that, I was having nightmares and stuff like that. So this person who was the psychologist who was really good at dreaming, knew a lot about dreams, taught me how to, the first thing, to wake myself up out of a dream. And when I have a nightmare, I have this trigger that I've created, and it's basically me yelling, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." And I, no matter what, can wake up. I've done this at this stage of my life hundreds of times. And it is my technique when I'm having a really bad nightmare to get myself out of that situation. And that is the control. So let's talk about, and that is the first thing. The second thing is remembering dreams. And that's another thing, so keeping a dream journal and remembering your dreams. I've been very lax on that lately. I've got to get back to it. But when I was having these issues, I absolutely had to keep a dream journal of every dream I could possibly remember. And I got to the point where I remembered pretty much most of them. One, because when I went to see the psychologist, we would talk about and try to make sense of the dreams. But it's just a good practice. You can see what your dreams are actually, what they actually are. That's the start. And I'd like to do this live as a series. Maybe I'll do it every Monday at 6. Because what I want to convey is that the first thing is you don't have to worry about astral projecting. I will say you want to master dreaming and all of that other. It takes a lot of the fear out of it. And you really want to have control of that before willfully astral projecting. But the notion that you can get lost and never find your body again, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Oberon doesn't believe that, and neither does Albert Taylor. And Albert, I believe in here, calls it an elastic cord. Oberon calls it, he calls it a silver cord that's elastic. It's kind of the same thing. But you will always find your way back to your body. And I've had cases where I was just astral projecting and having such a great time, and the alarm goes off. And what happens is that cord yanks you back to your body. I've woken up and kind of had a bounce to me. and I've even woken up Matt or Lucian, sorry, who lies next to me. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I was astral projecting and my cord snapped me back because the alarm went off." So let's hop into the comments. I want to take a look here what we got. Lucid dreaming. So I'm going to talk a little bit about lucid dreaming too. And I want to leave you guys. We're going to do this as a series. I'm going to leave you guys with some homework. Let's see what we go. Let's see. I just look at my hands. And Jezebel says, "I just look at my hands in the dream, and then I step out of the dream. Just watch, like the dream is a movie." Absolutely. That's that. Yes, absolutely. You can travel if you travel into death. I don't know what that means. There are people that have, died when people die in their sleep all the time. But I think what they're saying about the cord and stuff is that, if you die in death, if you didn't astral travel, you probably would have died anyways. These people that have died. But then again, how would you even know if you died while astral traveling? Because You don't wake up to tell it. So I don't. I don't. It's just not something I believe in. Oh, I dream about other people that have died or are killing. I see. I got it. Yeah, that could be scary. That would be one I would wake myself up from. um, so here's the first two takeaways so far. If you're really interested in astral projecting and astral travel, first start a dream journal. Get a little book, keep it right by your bed on your nightstand, and as soon as you wake up, now this is key. As soon as you wake up, the first thing you gotta do is the dream journal. That's your first thing. So it's got to be right next to you. When you wake up, lay in bed. You got to get in this habit. The first thing you do when your eyes open is, what was my dream? Because that's when it's fresh in your memory. Dreams will fade in seconds, and if you don't grab it right as you wake up, it'll be lost. So you get in that habit of wake up. The dream was about. Write it in the journal. Master that skill. Master that. That way you can really look at your dreams, analyze them. The second thing is take control of your dreams. It's hard to say without. I mean, I do it with nightmares, but try to will yourself out of a dream, waking up. Because that's the second piece. If you find yourself traveling to a place that is scary, that you don't want to be, and let's say you panic, because that's what happens when people get lost, because you can always, when you're astral traveling, change directions, follow the cord back or whatever and whatnot. But let's say you get lost in there. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The cord will snap you back to your body and you will be awake, just like being pulled out of that nightmare. That's a skill. It's not covered in these books, unfortunately. It's just something I was taught, and it's just something that comes with practice. And Jen says, meditate. Yeah, I was going to get to that. She took it off the tip of my brain tongue. Yes.
Your brain.
Meditate and vision. And that was referenced in this book, right? He mentioned meditation and visualization. And we'll talk about that. But getting control of that dream state is the first thing that's going to make you feel safe no matter what you do, whether it's a nightmare, whether it's astral traveling. And once you have that ability to yank yourself out of dreams, you can yank yourself out of a bad place you astral project to. And that cord will snap you back and up you'll wake. Where is astral projection? Let's talk about how we dream. And we begin with, right? You lay down in bed and you start drifting off. You're getting, this is the top, you're awake. You're moving down. You got REM sleep here. Once you hit REM sleep, you're in a dream state. So what I believe and what a lot of people say is there's kind of a sliver right before you're in full REM dreaming where you are lucid enough to take control as you enter into dreamland. And that's kind of how I visualize astral projecting. And it's also how lucid dreaming works. And I'll talk a little bit about that. Hi, Exon. How are you? And hi, Jen. I didn't say hi. I saw you come in. I saw your question, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I didn't say hi. I'm sorry. I'm just in the zone. The whiz is in the zone. So yeah, and that's kind of where in the sleep cycle astral projection starts as you're getting into REM. And that's where you can kind of control it. So as Jen said, meditation. So, and just like what Oberon says, meditation and visualization. So when I meditate, right, I close my eyes and I'll get into my meditation. I'll put some meditation music on and I will get myself into meditation. But and again, this is the way I was taught by one of my mentors. I use a lot of visualization in my meditation. A lot. Like I will meditate that I'm sitting in the middle of a meadow. And when I meditate, I really am there in my mind, I guess. It's so real. Or I sometimes meditate, I'm sitting on top of a flower that's just holding me, kind of like a bug. Sometimes I've meditate where I'm sitting on a raft in the middle of the ocean. Depending on what I'm trying to, the type of meditation I'm trying to refresh, but that's a lot. That's another piece of it. I would really recommend to anyone, whether you're trying to astral travel or not, I would really recommend a good meditation routine because it's just going to make your life better. And it's just going to, you get yourself centered and you become self-centered. No, but seriously, it's a great practice to get into.
I just got that.
I stole that from Weeds, the TV show. Oh, Disjointed, sorry. So it's not mine. I give credit where it's due. But definitely meditation is a part of it because here's how I astral project. Let's say I'm going to lay down at night, and I'm going to will myself. I want to go somewhere. As I fall asleep, I treat falling asleep as a meditation. Okay, I'll be tired, and the more tired you are, the easier it is. So, have a busy day, do a vigorous workout, smoke some indica, anything to get yourself really tired, and treat your going to sleep as meditation. And I will get myself into the most comfortable position that I can get into. And I'll focus on my breathing and my meditation and my visualization. And I will visualize the place I want to travel to. And as I fall asleep or go into that meditative state, it's hard to say when you're just getting into that REM. It's almost like a feeling. To me, it happens almost automatically when I will it to happen. And that's how you get there and you'll astral project. Now, here's something that's weird with me. Both of these books say you see your body as you rise up from it. Me, I don't rise up from my body. So as I'm in that meditative state, visualizing where I am, the next thing you feel is sinking into the bed. It's almost that when your body is getting so relaxed, you feel almost like you're falling backwards. Let yourself fall backwards. That's what I do. And what happens is I fall right through my body and I'll be under the bed. And then I float out, and then, of course, I can look down on my body, and then off I go to my destination. So it's a little weird thing that happens with me. I don't know why. I think it's because of that feeling. I think that feeling might have scared me a bit when I first started. So now I just embrace it, and I fall backwards, and I'm falling through the bed. But yeah, that's kind of a little part of it. So yeah, meditation is key. So that's the second. So is that the second? No, that's the third thing. If you're really serious about astral projecting, that's the third little piece of homework. So the takeaway from this video is what? Dream journal. Think about being able to wake yourself up out of your dreams and control your dreams. Because even in the worst nightmare, you got to remember you are in control. Whether that's you can just hit the pause button, have everything freeze. It's an infinite. Once you get in control of your dreams, it's infinite what you can do. Or yank yourself out. That's what I do. Let's. I was gonna go to the comments. Some highs. Smash that. Yes, smash that like button. So Jess says, my path and roots are so different from this. This is like watching Chinese opera. Sadly, only possible to hit the like once. Oh, yeah, I know. Thanks. It is different than everybody. And Jen says, it's funny that you feel like you're falling through. I always lift off my body. Yeah. And I'm like the only one that has ever said that. And I don't know. It has to, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just how I feel. I feel that sinking. And I think I know why. Back when I was a child and I was having the nightmares and the night terrors, one of the scariest dreams I've always had was the falling sensation. I would start falling. I feel like I'm just going to keep falling or I'm going to fall to my death. That's one of the nightmare. And when I was starting to learn to get control of that, and that's how all this came together, and that's when I started astral traveling. I would actually feel that relaxing feeling and kind of force it through meditation and fall out of my body. And it's weird because at first everything is kind of translucent a bit. So I can float back up through my body, and it's just so weird. And then, it's weird. I go on, I'm under the bed, and then I just fly out from under the bed, and I look down on my body. Most other people feel the lift out of the body, and I've tried to change it, but it's going to do what it's going to do. It's going to do what it's going to do. Cypress, sorry I'm late. Oh, that's okay. I would definitely, so Cypress, I'm going to make a series out of this. But definitely go back and watch. If not, I maybe just fear of the unknown. Let me see. Comments. Have you been able to astral travel? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people fear it. And the thing is, I say don't fear it because I know of that tether that Zell references, and that is also referenced in here. But I think, you see, the last thing you want to do is astral travel and panic or lose control. It becomes a nightmare really quick. And you're not going to pull back to your body unless you follow the cord back or you wake up. So if you astral travel and you panic and it's 8 o'clock at night and you just went to bed, well, you've got a ride ahead of you. So that's why I think the takeaway from this video is dream journal. Learn to try to interact with your dreams. Try to get to the point where you can pull yourself out of a dream or a nightmare. That's key to when you're astral traveling and you're in panic mode. Just, for me, it's wake up, and I'm back. And the next thing is lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming, to me, is where you're just getting to REM, but your senses are still working, and it's an almost in and out thing. First time I've ever lucid dreamed was more recent. Where was I? No, it was not more recent. That was the last time. Let me see. I'm trying to think of the first time I lucid dreamed. I can't remember the first time, to be honest. But this is what happens. And here's a neat thing to kind of try. Because this happens to me almost all the time. Well, if I have the external stimulation. So when I was a kid, another thing I used to do is I would go to sleep with the radio on. Back when I didn't understand what all this going on, I found that comforting. But a strange side effect would be that, and I listened to the local, top 40 hit station, the ones, that have the morning shows where, there's more than one host and they just babble half the show away. I would, before I wake up, lucid dream. And it's funny because I would be in this dream, sitting in this room, and the dream could be many different things. Like I had one not too long ago. I had the radio on and I took a nap, and I was doing a YouTube channel, and I was talking about, I forgot what the subject was about, but I was talking about something on here like I'm talking to you, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh, for my nap, I'm going to make lunch, and the radio's still on, and they're talking about what I was talking about. I was in the conversation in my lucid dream, and now I'm listening to it. And it's very freaky. It happened to me. It happened to me almost all the time when I travel, like real travel. So it was a year ago. I went to my DR test. So I work in IT, and we go to Philadelphia to do a disaster recovery test. And I spent a few nights in Philadelphia. And I always leave the TV on to fall asleep. Well, I woke up, kind of, and I'm like, all of a sudden, in my dream, I'm a newscaster, and I'm talking about the weather and this, that, or whatever, and yada, yada, yada. And I wake up, and the TV's on, and that's what's on. It's really bizarre. So that's something to try. Try putting the radio on at night. Down low, not too loud. See if you can fall asleep, and see if when you wake up, make the first thing you pay attention to is the conversation on the radio, and see if they match up. You'll find that sometimes they will. I'm going to go pop into the comments. Let's see. Hey, God. Let's see. If not, sorry, we're gonna go late. Blah, blah, blah. I always forget why I leave off. Jez says, I have too many dust bunnies under the bed to take. That's funny. Yeah. I can't even. You don't want to know what's under my bed. D. Lamb says, I would like to learn how to astral travel. I learned how to control my dreams when I was very young due to nightmares. So you did that. So D. Lamb, you went the same route I have. You've learned to control your dreams because of the nightmares. You're halfway there. I'm going to, because there's two examples in this book. And I think I might do the one in here if I can find that page again. Because I love the way Zell explains things. There's a whole section here called How to Astral Travel. You can't even see it. I don't know why with this ring I hold things up. Oh, and I lost a page. Oh shit! How did that happen? Page 217. Hold on a minute. Luckily, I have multiple copies of this book. But I'm gonna kind of talk you through something, but we're gonna do that at a later time. We're gonna take this slow. I'd like the rest of us, or the rest of the folks in here, to kind of get that dream mastery part first. But then again, there's others. I mean, Jen, I know you can astral travel. So Jen says, I understand being fearful of the unknown. I think if you start with lucid dreaming, it may. Oh, what happened? So it may make you feel more comfortable. Absolutely, right? Touch that lucid dreaming, and kind of pull yourself out. You'll because the feelings are similar. That's kind of the route you take when you push through, and it's like baby steps, right? Let's see, Jack, Dave, I did that too with the radio. I still feel like I can't sleep without some sound going on. No, you did that with the radio. So to clarify, Jack, do you lucid dream with the radio as you wake up and you hear the conversation and you're like, wait a minute, I was just saying that. It's an amazing thing. It's really cool. Jez says, but still be careful. Not every spirit is a love puppy. Keep your intentions strong and the space clean and safe. Yeah. When you get to the point of astral travel, you can go anywhere. I would start small. I would just fly around the house, fly around the room. I took it very slow when I first started. Then I flew over the bay. I wanted to see, the Newport Bridge, start small. And I would keep your intent very strong and where you want to go very strong. And stick to, I think our food's here. And stick to, hold on. Food. Oh, yep. And, stick to don't go looking for the spirit realm. Not right away. Because that can be, I can tell you, the further, it kind of exists, not in the way that it was in Insidious, but there are those realms out there that can be very scary if you're not aware of where you're going. So I would kind of stick to just baby steps at first. Let's see. Yeah, because not all spirits are puppies, as Jezebel Vaughn said. Earthy Phantom Seeker, I don't know if this is astral traveling, but I had a dream that I was my mother's mother when she was a child.
Do the cats have any cat food?
I don't know. Was there any there? Just give them some dry. It could be, right? Going to different places because you can. I've gone back in time, astral traveling. I've spoken with spirit guides, astral traveling. I've there's a lot of things. I've gone and checked on relatives in other parts of the country, astral traveling. And there's another thing. I don't know where I read this. It may be in one of these books. But when you astral travel, you can visit the living. It's something to be careful of because you can appear to them as a ghost or as a spirit, right? Because you're there. Your astral form is your spirit form. Something to be aware of. You don't want to be floating around, Aunt Tilly's, living room, and then her break out the sage and, the sage and the crucifix and, start trying to exorcise the demons. It can be, it won't kill you, but you will be woken up and you'll snap back to your body with a vengeance. But yeah, it's kind of be careful of the spirit realm as you go. Trisha, I suffer horrendous. Trisha, says, I suffer from horrendous night terrors. I can't control my dreams at all, so I don't think I'd be able to control astral projection through sleep. It really, so I had a lot of help, you could say professional help, learning to control my dreams. If you're having night terrors, it really is something that you really want to kind of work on. But yeah, I mean, I can see where it's a really terrifying thing. So how long have we been on? Oh, look at my watch thinks I'm exercising. It's amazing. So my dinner is here. So that's a good. So that's a kind of a good start, I think. Let's go to a few more. Little Dandelion says, and other times I'm worried that I'm not truly traveling since I fear that I'm just making up what I'm seeing. You gotta kind of let go of that. And I'm responding to Little Dandelion. Just do it and don't worry about it. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, sometimes I purposeful dream. And that is part of setting the intention. When you go to sleep at night, right, you're going to meditate and you're going to set that intention. And that's a purposeful dream, right? I go to bed and I'm like, I want to dream about this, there, that, or whatever. But that's, that's some of it, So Little Dinner, I struggle with staying focused on it. I tend to lose what I'm doing, and at times I get interrupted, feeling itchy, dogs get lit, and it's frustrating. Might have to try. Yeah, Little Dandelion, I would try that at night, and a good meditation routine is crucial at the beginning to start doing this. Learning to meditate will teach you how to focus, and then when you're trying to astral travel, astral project, that it all, as you get a good meditation routine, it becomes second nature. You could tune out all of the nonsense going on around, and you can. It'll happen. It really, but it takes a lot of practice. Let's see. So there was another interesting question. Is it possible that some of the spirits that people see are actually astral projecting people? I think it's possible. I really do think it's possible. People visiting each other. I don't know to what percentage. But I believe it's entirely possible. Let's see. Any more good questions in here? Jack says, I still feel like I can't sleep without some. Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely. Once I got married and I didn't want to keep Lucian up all night, I've learned to sleep without any sound. But I've been there. I like definitely have always slept. Like when I'm by myself, or especially when traveling in a hotel, I definitely will put something on. So I'm going to leave it there. What I'd like you guys to do, because I'm going to do this in series. We're going to do this every Monday for like about 45 minutes to an hour. That way, I want to get off in time so Jen can set up for her live. And she's doing, I think it's a gem show. But I want to make this a series. This is going to be a regular thing. And what I want folks to do, and I'm going to do this myself because I've been slacking. I'm going to get my notebook and I'm going to start my dream journal. That's the first thing. So let's try that. Let's try doing our dream journals. And what we can do is we can kind of share some of our dreams with each other. Because here's the thing. I want to pop back into here where we talk about, where Zell talks about dream journals. let's see, where is that? Oh, I forgot to find that. Yeah, he says regular dreams are seldom that. One way to tell the difference. So here's the thing: once you start analyzing your dreams, because sometimes you astral travel without knowing it, when you don't know like how to do it. This is where that dream journal comes in, and you will find when you look at it, you can kind of tell if you keep a really good dream journal that that they're different, and you can pick out the astral. At least I'm able to. So it depends on that on how good you keep that dream journal. So at that, let's Jez says, now I crave chicken soup dumplings. Yeah, I got a whole big. So we're both feeling a little under the weather. So I've got a big, large bowl of chicken soup right here that I'm going to dig into. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Next week, we're going to talk about the dream journal some more. And, we'll we'll talk about, so it's going to take a lot of time for dream control. But it's something I would like, and I'll try to do a little more research and try to be able to put on paper and describe how I do it. It just, for me, it's an automatic feeling, but it's a couple of things to work on. Work on, the dream journal and controlling your dreams, and the lucid dream experiment. If you have some time and you're going to take a nap, just put something on low in the background and see if you can lucid dream to it and see if that happens. Because these are good first steps, and then we'll kind of dive into more. We'll talk about dreams more next Monday, and we'll go in a little bit in this book here, and I'll read Zell's steps on astral projection and how he does it. And like I said, I'll go into more detail on how I do it, and kind of give you a kind of a guide to kind of start trying to do it yourselves. And I know some of you in there are also good at astral traveling. It would be good to kind of start sharing these stories. So on that, thanks for joining for this little live. I hope this. I think this is going to be a great series because I've gotten so many questions on astral travel, and there's a lot of fear out there. And I think once we get control of that and set that fear at ease, more and more people will feel comfortable doing that. So we're going to do that with this series. That's my goal. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. I will see you. Wednesday for Wednesday night readings, and don't forget to like and hold on.
Bye, everybody.
I'm gonna do it. Hold on. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share this video if you know someone that's into astral travel or they want to try it. Definitely share this video. And also don't forget to check out the Conjurer's Table. That's Lucian's hand. Because his channel is great. And support each other. Check out, I know the Bone Whisperer is back doing, he did some readings earlier today. Good to see him. Hexen back doing some videos, so definitely check out his channel. And definitely in a little more than a half hour, check out the Gem Show on Jen's channel, Willow and the Thrifty Witch. Love you all. Mwah! Love you all. Have a great night. Thanks. Bye-bye.